off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining us again for another recap of Why the Last Man, Courtney's favorite show. As usual, we have the crew back. D, how's it going?
I am great. How are you?
Excuse me, McD 55.
I kept
Excuse me.
saying B55 last episode
Yeah,
because I was like, why the hell do I keep saying B55? So there we go. McD 55. It's me.
Court, how's it going?
The B-55, it sounds like a Star Wars droid.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
from
so
Scandal, like, because it was like B, whatever their government agency
Yeah.
was. And that's why I just put a B in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm good, just
JFK,
here again celebrating men being yeeted off the planet. So still very pleased.
So Court, since you actually brought a lot of insight to the last recap, and we saw a lot of that stuff come into fruition this episode, let's start with you for general impressions. How did you feel about this episode?
There's one scene that stuck out, and I feel like this is a point that they're going to make, and it's something I didn't think about. I was like, well, I guess one good thing is that maybe we'd have reproductive rights. There was a scene that made me think, I was like, oh, cool. No, we don't. Even by our own hand, no, we don't. Because someone was definitely not happy to be conceived, and I have a feeling she's not going to have a choice. Sorry, do it for the greater good.
Yeah, and okay, I
Yeah.
want to hold on to that because I was just about to
That's
say
why I was
something.
kind of
but
being
let's not-
vague about
yeah.
it, because I'm like, but that one stuck out to me the most. I kind of had to pause it. I was like, ugh. Like even then, like we can't. We're in our own way because of the Meghan McCains, and then that was kind of a funny moment too with her having a two, and that kind of represents how a lot of Republican women are, and they kind of are having to compromise themselves to get with the Marjorie Taylor Greens and such, because they're not bringing them toward the center.
Oh, no.
They're gonna have to radicalize. So I thought that, I was like, I think this so far to me the show's been very on point. Still.
So D, how you feeling? How you feel about the episode?
I agree. And it's weird because I'm doing this weird thing that I do not recommend where I'm reading and watching at the same time. And some stuff gets confusing because I was like, oh, wait, that didn't happen in the episode. That happened in the book.
She's setting
That's a
herself
different
up
part
for
of the book.
failure.
Yeah. So I'm not going to do any spoilers because now that I'm reading, I see what you were saying, Ronnie, that it is different than the graphic novel. It's not like a whole different take, but it's different. And you can kind of see where they swap one thing for another, but it's the same thing, kind of. And I think my favorite part of the episode, though, was when Regina, isn't that her name? Regina?
I think.
Because I was like, I'm going to remember her name this time. When Regina made sure to mention that old girl was on The View. So I'm like,
I know, I was like, okay,
ever
now
any
it's
doubt,
glaring,
right?
Because
Ever any doubt.
I think I still would have been questioning it a little bit, even though
Just a little.
my father. But as soon as The View, I was like,
yeah, they're making it crystal clear. So now that y'all know who she is,
it's so
there
funny.
you go.
They have some, whoever the producers they hate her, and it's funny.
I'm glad you said that Taylor Green lady, because that's who I'm thinking. The Regina, they're kind of making her.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know who. I mean, I knew she was somebody. Like I knew she was based off somebody, but I thought she was based off.
Did y'all think that was
just a lady version? But now I'm pretty sure that's who she is. Well, not who she is, but that's who she's
meant to be
loosely based off of. That's my thoughts.
So,
did you like?
Are we in agreement of that?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's definitely her. But I did like this episode because it does address a lot of okay, let me step back. So we talked about the initial issues with I won't say issues with the graphic novel, I'll just say things weren't at a place to fully discuss the scope of like gender identity when the graphic novel was made back in 2004, but now we have a better understanding. So this episode, it did it in a way without feeling like it was like woke, air quotes for those listening and not watching. Like, so the scenes with Dr. Mann, I was like, okay, that's perfect, that makes sense, that makes perfect sense for the show. So that part really intrigued me. So yeah, I did like this episode. Have one little tiny problem that I'll get into later, but yeah, overall I like this episode.
Well, why are you saving it? I want to hear it.
I
What's
want
the
to hear it
problem?
too. What is it? Say it.
Okay, so this show kind of has a pacing problem.
Okay.
Like, while I enjoyed this episode, like content wise, like just like story beats wise, like over like the length of like 5 episodes, I'm kind of like, yeah, this show has a pacing problem, and they need to figure out a way to just put like the interesting chunks in the episodes,
Yeah, you're
because
right.
because because yeah, I can see this losing people. I mean, I'm interested, of course, because I have a interest in the yeah, I have I have an interest in the source material. I'm curious to see it play out on screen. But if this is your introduction to this show, I think you're just kind of like, okay,
You're
where's it
right,
going?
because I did just remember that like this is what the fifth episode. It doesn't feel
This is
as much like
episode
it because
5.
because and how many are there total?
I think this is a
I
10
think it's
episode
10.
season, but this had the feeling of like a third
Yeah,
episode, not
yeah,
like
because
yeah.
I guess because they dropped all those ones at once,
Uh huh.
which to me, I'm still team like you either drop everything at once or you pace it out. And I
Hmm.
think this might be why, because it kind of messes up like my mind's pacing too. Because it was hard for me. It was hard to binge them because I was just like, this is a lot because
Hmm.
it's a lot of world building at once, and so it was a lot, almost like a chore. I was into it, but it's almost like a chore because
Mhm.
it didn't to me it didn't move very quick. It felt like it moved slowly. It's not like I didn't enjoy it. It just there's a lot there, and you I feel like a lot is everything is like important, but it's not it all not it just because it's important doesn't mean it's interesting.
I'm wondering though, for Ronnie especially, I'm not disagreeing that there's a pacing problem, but I'm wondering if it's worse for you because you already know the story.
Not really,
You don't think
because
so?
I've read this like so long ago, and I only read it once. So
Mm.
um so there are a lot of things I'm like, oh, this is the place where this happens. But just watching the show play out, I understand, because we kind of had this conversation with Underground Railroad. Like you got to know which bits to adapt when you're adapting an entire work. But the creative choices that they're making as far as like changing some of the story, like now that you've read up to like, I don't know which issue you on, but there's like a lot that happens in those first issues, but the deviation in the TV show, I'm just like, that's a choice. And I understand you got to do some world building, but like Court mentioned, this is episode 5 and it feels like episode 2 or 3.
But is that a bad thing? Like, do you feel like I understand what y'all are saying, and again, I'm not disagreeing, but what I'm questioning is I when you said episode 5, I thought, damn, it is episode 5. I
I
thought it
think
was like episode 3. And but I don't really have a problem with that
I think for
because
a first
usually
season,
at like when you're near episode 5, you're like, if it's 10 episodes, you're like, I guess you know much more. And is that the critique? Because it's like we're
I
halfway
just feel like
through and
because
there's not much that we
since it's
know.
the
Is that
first
it?
season of something, I feel like it's the goal of a first season to me should be to try to get people like enwrapped in your story, and then in like maybe a later season, that's when you can like be super development heavy, in my opinion. Like if we think about like the beginning, I always go back to Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones, like if you go back and watch that first season, it's kind of hard rewatching it because it's just ruined forever. But they had development, but there was enough like side development going on to keep you interested while they were still world building. Like they had that balance, in my opinion, done pretty well. So I feel like it's just, instead of like these little side things that can keep you kind of occupied while the big thing is kind of bubbling up, there's not as much of that. It's just kind of, like I said, almost feels like it's when you're having to read a book for school. Like the book can be good, but I feel like I'm almost like having to take notes during the slow parts of it, if that makes sense.
Well, maybe I'm not having that problem because again, I'm also reading. So I always have content. So maybe that's why I'm not feeling it, because I'm doing it in tandem.
Well, now that you've read, I can say, without explicitly saying, one choice that they made, they kind of ruined a big reveal.
I agree.
They ruined it. Like they
I don't know how they're
away
going to do
from
it
like
now.
a huge reveal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Unless they like took a particular character away and like you never hear from them again, and then boom, here's his character again. But you've kind of already ruined that. So, but anyway, let's get into the episode.
And I don't want to say what I was going to say now because don't know what I'm talking about. I'll put it in. I'll just ease it in. But yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, go ahead. On to the episode.
So they are in they're in Boston, right? Yeah, because they went to Harvard. Yeah. So we are in search for Dr. Mann, and to give some backstory about Dr. Mann, her research is kind of controversial to say the least.
Questionable.
So very questionable. So her lab
on many levels.
355 discovers that her lab has been destroyed. So they go to the apartment, try to figure out where Dr. Mann is hiding. And as you can see, I'm advancing straight to like meeting Dr. Mann. But Deeds, so tell me, what did you think about Dr. Mann's introduction, and also I guess, by the way, we kind of get our introduction of like one first big theory, kind of sort of. So were you listening? Did you catch it? Did you catch the theory?
Did you catch it, Courtney?
There was a lot
She brought
to
up
catch.
She brought up cloning. So cloning.
I was like, who's right again? Me. So I was kind of. I was like, once again, another one on the board.
But are you right?
Are you?
No, I'm convinced they're gonna have to clone him. They're gonna have to make men somehow. That fetus that's unwanted is not gonna be a boy.
But are you?
And if it is, it's not gonna make it past. The 12 weeks is a danger zone. A lot of people know this, especially if you have a uterus. That's a danger zone. So if it is a male fetus, then it's not gonna make it. I'm just saying now.
So let me back up and put this out here now. So if and my apologies for forgetting the AIDS name, but if she does have a boy, I'm not watching the show.
Me neither.
No, I'm not watching it.
Here's the thing. I have a feeling it will be, but I have a feeling something wrong happens to her while she's pregnant or happens to the pregnancy. I have a feeling that they're going to kind of build that up and then.
Okay, well, the problem I would have is, and again, this is going from the source material, and it's fine if you haven't read the source material. Like, I'm not judging anybody, but basing off the theory of the show, first and foremost, it's called Why the Last Man. So if there is another man on Earth, I will feel cheated. That's just the first thing. Second thing is the book explicitly states, like a bunch of times, that every sperm, it was like every embryo, fetus, sperm, mammal, everything, living thing with a Y chromosome has been wiped out. And like they make it a point to say, like they drive home the point that anything on planet Earth, when this thing happened, if it had a Y chromosome, it didn't exist anymore, no matter where it was on Earth. So the miscarriage was making sense. Well, actually, it wasn't, because it was so much later after. But even the doctor was like, I'm pretty sure you're having a girl.
Kind of. So how far past the event are we? because
Really?
there is a point in fetal development that it does not have a sex yet. That is, why, men have female secondary sex characteristics like nipples, because we kind of all start out with female sex characteristics. So counterpoint to that, the fetus may have been in the stage where it was not male yet.
And I hate that you were right, because that's exactly what I'm
So
thinking
again,
when they're gonna
but
make
I
this.
have a feeling, because this is a dark show, they may have a little hint of hope, like maybe the only man isn't an idiot, please, and then something happens. There's no way, in my opinion, that pregnancy makes it. There's no way, especially if she doesn't want it. Especially if she doesn't want it, because you can tell she does not want that pregnancy.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that. I definitely agree with you on the biology part. I still feel cheated though if it's the boy. Like
if they go there, this is children of men. This is just children of men if they go there.
It'd be a
it's
knockoff.
Literally children of men. Yes. And you're
But
taking
I mean, the thing
away.
is, like in this kind of scenario, that is a realistic possibility. Like, let's just say, like everything with a Y chromosome. However, there could be people in that very tiny pocket of fetal development where it does not. That hasn't really happened yet. And they haven't really stated that, like, everything with a Y chromosome after the vaginal dies is something that continues.
Like, well, they haven't said it on the show. You're right. And the question with that, I'm glad you brought that up, because my question was, like, the thing happened, but who's to say that whatever it is that caused it isn't still present on Earth? Mm-hmm. Right? So, like, who says that it happened that one day and then it's gone? Like, it could just be like anything with the Y chromosome forever now, or until the deity said, okay, that's enough. It's gonna die.
Good. That sounds so horrible if I say that would be good. If she carries to term and then all of a sudden baby's born, it's fine, and all of a sudden they won't do it. But that, to me, y'all may disagree. Like, that would be like a knife in the gut plot development. That'd be a knife in the
It would be dark.
It would be really
dark. It would be good to me. It would be good plot development. In my
really
opinion. It's a dark show. They basically showed us a child in the first part of the episode to like remind you.
Yeah, but they show us.
Ooh. They don't have to show us. They just have to show like looks. They could just show like looks of horror and like a baby screaming and then not screaming.
Yeah.
Like that's like, I think that'd be a really intriguing plot development, and I think that would answer that question.
And like you said, as terrible as it sounds, like that would actually be an interesting direction for the show to go.
Would that recover that feeling? Would that recover that feeling of feeling? What did you say, that cheated? If that ended up where they went,
in a sense,
because I think this is an important plot. Sorry if I cut you off. This is important plot development to cover like modern political sphere of bodily autonomy. For people with uteruses. So I think it's important that it's covered, because people are like, oh, just let there be women rulers. But when there's people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Meghan McCain now, we would still never have bodily autonomy, because very much, I'm not even going to call the character by its name, is Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain would be like, no, we have to prioritize this over the women. There's enough women. We need these babies. So, I think that needs to be a plot point, and I think this is a good way to bring about that plot point. And they're not, again. And one other thought I had is that, dang, even when there's literally one man and people don't know men exist, it's like we literally still don't get prioritized. They're prioritizing sperm over us. It's just kind of like how it feels a lot of the time. So I think if they do this the right way, I think that'd be really intriguing storytelling, which is, again, it's dark, but to me, I think it's honest storytelling.
D, like you said, so follow me here. So let's say she goes through with the pregnancy, something happens, and then Meghan McCain says, and like you said, they like they all have that glimmer of hope, even though this woman is miserable because she clearly doesn't want to be carrying this baby, especially not during the apocalypse. Something happens, and then they instantly point the finger at her, like, "Oh, you wanted this to happen. You killed this baby," and then it just goes into something bigger. So we have like these different.
They made her ass in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, my mind. See? Hire me to be a writer. Hire me to be a writer for this show, obviously.
Do you see the
reading
vision?
is my forte. Yeah.
I see it. I see it. I had to open it. It had to decalcify, but now that it has, I see it.
But yeah, I want to go back to Dr. Mann because she also, and it's so, by the way, it is not a joke that her name is Dr. Mann. Just tossing that out there. But
not lost on us.
yeah, it's not lost. But yeah, she mentions like a few interesting things. First of which I don't even think most people would consider. She was like, we didn't just lose men, we lost biodiversity. Like, so just think about how this affects ecosystems, how this affects like just everything, like the climate, like everything.
Tigers, giraffes.
Exactly. Like, so that's such an interesting idea.
Because I'm
so
like, the world's going to end, period. I said that like the last one. The world's going to end, period.
Did you think about that when you were like, when you first like knew all men would die? Did you think about, the animal kingdom?
No, I thought about men. I thought about biological cis men.
What did the giraffes do wrong? They didn't. All they did was just mind their business and be tall.
Now, when I saw the first episode, of course, I knew, because I think the first thing we saw was an animal.
The dog.
And then we saw like a cow and a dog, and then all the rats. So I'm like, oh wait, this is everything. But I do think that, on top of what you were saying about Dr. Mann's speech, the most, I guess, gut-wrenching thing about it was, we didn't just lose men, we lost people. Like people, because she's saying there are women that did not realize they had a Y chromosome. And there's
died. Also trans women too. We lost trans women too. So it's like,
we lost trans, and it's just a bunch of people. And do plants have chromosomes? I don't. Yeah, I'm an engineer. I'm not a biologist.
There's some, but it's like the majority of mammal creatures.
But did you say I'm an engineer? I don't know anything about science.
Biology.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say okay.
I know a little science, a little physics, not a lot. I'm not gonna tell y'all how I skated out of the class, but that's neither here nor there. Biology, I said. Thank you. I don't know much biology. Chemistry.
So with plants, it's not like it's not like with like chromosomes, like
it's not the same concept. Like there's male and female trees, but it's not the same.
And the whatever. Yeah.
So we should be
the male and female trees are why I suffer every spring.
So we should be good as far as agriculture goes, just not
because there's male animals that are a part of upkeep of just the ecology of the world. Yeah. So we're doomed.
But I'm saying as far as what's on Earth now, though, the agriculture should be fine.
Well, not really, because think about it. Like, there are no male bees to carry like sperm from one place to another. Like, because aren't worker bees primarily male? Like, correct me.
Yeah, but like I'm just wondering like what the chromosomal makeup is.
Yeah.
Because like when I think about that, like really, I was thinking mostly like mammals.
Oh yeah, they do.
Like
okay, yeah, they do specifically say mammals.
You're right.
Mammals.
Okay. So insects should be fine.
Yeah.
That UAB education coming through.
So yeah, we should be fine. Yeah.
So we should be fine agriculturally.
Well, except for fertilizer, then, right? Well, no, because we still got the female.
You can use the male bodies for that. It's
cows. Fine. They just won't reproduce.
We got plenty of men's bodies. It's fine. We can use that. That's great fertilizer. We're not wrong.
She's right though.
Oh my god.
I mean, she's not wrong. That's all.
I'm not wrong. Where am I wrong? It's like The Happening, but
because that actually
at least Mark Wahlberg would have died.
Like people are burying themselves in compost bags now,
and like trees,
give back to the earth. Yeah. To
I mean, it's like all you're gonna do is sit in a graveyard.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Okay, so my
donate your organs though. That's all I'm gonna say.
I want to say this before I forget. as far as y'all were saying, it's pacing. I was surprised that we did not see Hero at all this
No.
episode.
I mean, I'm fine with it because she's
Like she
annoying,
didn't, but not just her though. The daughters or whoever they were,
that
because I feel like they're
whole
gonna be like
area.
I feel like she's the villain. Whoever that lady was that was hoarding all the stuff.
Mhm.
I feel like she's the villain, and I just thought it was interesting that we didn't see them at all.
Oh, by the way, bees do not have X or Y chromosomes.
Okay, yeah.
We're good with the bees.
Mhm.
So we had just pretty much the two stories. We had the White House. They're still in the White House, right?
Yeah.
At the
Yeah,
White
this is the
House,
White
and
Her
then
House.
in
we
like the
had
bunker,
Boston.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just live in the bunker.
Can we talk about 355?
Yeah, let's go there because I thought and D I don't know how well no because this character gets introduced in like the first 5 pages, first 5 to 10 pages. So I thought this character was that character. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay, so now I am curious, but yeah, go into 355.
Okay, so she is. I think the thing I like the most about her is that she walked through when she was trying to get to the to Harvard. She just walked through there like she was supposed to be there.
Mhm.
And a lot of times people can get access when you just look like you belong in a place. If this world were different, if it weren't full of women, that wouldn't have happened. Doesn't matter how much confidence she has. A Black woman is not about to walk through here without somebody checking some kind of credential. It's not going to happen. So it's just cool that they're showing us now that even though stuff has kind of gone crazy, she has access to places that she wouldn't have had before, even though she should have it. Um, on top of that, she's just always moving around. And I know Yorick is the one that pisses us off most of the time, but sometimes I question what kind of direction she's giving him. Because like he's not he's not good with weapons. He's an escape artist, which is great. But she just like took him and ducked him behind a trash can and was like, stay here.
I don't know. Those are pretty simple directions.
They're simple, but what happens if somebody comes by? What do you do? And of course, the whole time, when he breaks into the place, the door, I'm thinking, Yorick, like, please just stop. You have no idea what's behind the door. Why would you go why would you open the door? Why would you go in there? But on the other hand, I'm like, you are just kind of there. Anybody could walk by and see him. So
Also, Court, I guess he heard you last week because what was the first thing that Yorick did when he pulled the mask off? Because she was like, "You need some tea, right?" She was like, "You need some tea, right?" He was like, "Yeah,
that's right.
I'm
Yeah,
a trans man." Yeah.
but she led him into it because I like her brain didn't even compute the fact that he could actually be male. Like, I'm sorry, that he would not be cis male. She was just kind of like, my brother's in Jamaica. If you need help, you can go with them. I mean, she was trying to be helpful, but I'm like, she didn't even think about it. She's just like,
And I don't think he's smart enough to lie like that either. So
he's not. That's the thing. Is like that's the thing about York. He's not smart enough to lie. And that's one of the most infuriating parts. Sorry, I got caught up reading an article. So basically, is all mammals have XY, or like 90% of animals have XY, and then it's worms and certain flies.
Worms, interesting.
And then between like other organisms, like the chromosomes are indistinguishable on a sex level. So it's fine. It's fine without. Yeah,
we're fine. But as far as 355 goes, what did you think about now the person that 355 met up with in the safe house? That's who I thought the other person was.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. Okay, sorry, y'all. We don't want to ruin it for you. But you say you do think differently now? You don't think that's who it is?
Well, this is the spoiler. There's another spy agent person by the name of Alter, which that's who I thought. I was like, oh, they're introducing Alter. Like, really? Yeah, kind of. But
they never said it.
But they never explicitly say it. But it can't be right. Can't be.
See, I
They
just want
also
to let
didn't
y'all
say
know
who
that
burned down the
they're not
lab.
allowing me to read the book, so I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, she can't read the books, but none of that.
Yeah,
They
because
also
Dee decided to.
they're not telling us who burned down her lab either. They just said it's
Mhm,
burned down.
mhm.
So we have no idea who burned down Man's lab, or if she's telling the truth about it being burned down. I would assume she
I
is,
think
She's
because
telling
she
the
cloned
truth.
a bit.
you know. But yeah, but
I think she
they
cloned
haven't
something,
told us.
by the way.
The
I
crib.
think she cloned. Sorry, I think she cloned something, by the way, and she's mad because the clone had a Y chromosome, and
The
it's gone.
crib.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I'm like, it's not. I don't think it was anything that came from her biologically. I think that she has had some. I'm not. It may not have been human. She had something cloned, or she was working on a clone, and it had a Y chromosome. Why would she have such an or that, or she may have had a partner, and a Y chromosome, but that was a little too from the heart and the soul.
There's nothing in that cup. Please stop. There's nothing in
What
that
is
cup.
wrong with y'all?
Stop it.
Anyway,
He's in due time. You'll
he's
see.
making a case for the show. Anyway,
Yeah. So do you
I'm
think
just saying.
whoever her handler and the other person's handler were, do you think that person's still alive?
All right, so I'm trying to figure out like the hierarchy of the Corporal Ring, at least, well, the TV version, because her handler was a male, but but there's almost like this recruiter type figure that pull them out of like juvie or like foster homes or whatever, and then train them from like a teenage, and, and it's a very manipulative relationship,
It's
it
fucked
seems.
up.
Exactly. So
You
that
can say
person
it's
has to,
fucked up.
yeah. So it very rapey. Like, let's just be real. So that person's still out there somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It seemed like they felt so betrayed though, because the other agent, I can't remember what her number is. It was
Wasn't it
five
like,
something.
I thought it was 455, or am I just making it up?
I
R2D2.
thought it was five something, but it may have been four something. But she just seemed very betrayed. And just for perspective,
BB8.
Courtney, she said she's been there 3 weeks. So it's been at least, I want to say, a month since the event, right? It would have had to be.
And they
Yeah.
said that
I'm
the
thinking at
old girl
least
was
10
in her
weeks.
12th week.
Was it 12 weeks? Yeah. So
Basically right out of the first trimester. So let me do some googling.
yeah, so it's been
Hmm.
at least a month since the event. So there's that at least. But she felt like she felt very betrayed. And she made a point to say that her goal is to track down their handler or their recruiter and get to her.
Or what you
It
got?
does not. A human fetus does not develop external sex organs until around 7 weeks after fertilization.
They're gonna do it, aren't they?
The timing is right. The timing is literally right there.
They are going to do it.
I'm just saying. But
They are
I'm saying
gonna
if
want
they go the route that I'm thinking, that if they are good writers, if they're going right, I think it would be good. If they go the route that I'm saying they might go, I think that'd be. Like I said, to keep it up with the times again, because one of the hot topics right now is bodily autonomy. I think that needs to be addressed. And then I think she might get thrown in jail if something happens. Or baby is born, and then that would be like a whole another plot twist if right after baby is born, same thing happens. I think that'd be really intriguing. Either one.
How low do y'all think they're gonna go for timeline?
Probably. I'm thinking like maybe like right at the beginning of the third trimester, probably.
I mean the show.
Oh.
Like this season, how far do you think they're gonna go past the event?
Oh.
Like, are we
I
gonna
think
be at
maybe
like a
1 year. I think they're
2
gonna do 1
months?
year.
Do you think this is gonna be a year? This season's gonna be a year.
I
What you
think it's
think,
gonna be
Renee?
a year.
I can't answer that because
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah,
I think
I
this is
can't.
gonna be like a 4-season show type of thing. It's not a limited series, so they gotta drag this thing out to 4 seasons, 3 to 4 seasons.
They can.
I bet.
Yeah.
I would
They
bet
can.
money.
They can.
Yeah. I guess if things play out how they should.
So I think this would be like up to a year at most.
Is he frozen? He is frozen.
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
Running, you're frozen.
It's all, we all have bad internet.
You're frozen. Say it again.
Oh, I said it should be about a 3 or 4 season show if they do it how I expect them to.
Okay.
So I think they just like time jumps maybe back and forth within a 1 year period, maybe 6 months.
Time jumps. I don't
So-
like time jumps.
So it's like some things they've kind of like jumped forward on, and other things it seem like they're taking
they already
like
have
the
kind of done
scenic
it.
route too. Yeah, so they're like it's and I guess that so that might be where my pacing issue is coming from, because I'm like, okay, we jumped here. I'm expecting us to be here already, but we aren't. So where are we going?
Because this person hasn't appeared yet. So where's this person? If we're here, this person should be here. So where are they? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
I think
weird,
mine may
but-
have come from the fact that we had the first part of the season dropped all at once. Like I said, I don't like that. I like either all or one at a time. I don't like when it's partial. I really don't. Because I feel like shows either need to be designed to be dropped at once and binged, or designed to be dropped one at a time. I just feel like it's hard to do both.
And see, D, to talk about Dales, it worked with Dales because episode 1 and 2 were kind of like companion pieces. But this, to drop 3 episodes and then like, okay,
that would be like a super episode. 3 is too much for me.
Yeah,
especially if it's hour-long episodes.
It makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
So funny, y'all are really annoyed about this pacing.
I don't like it. Like to me, like stick to one. Like either all at once, which I'm fine with, or one at a time, which I'm fine with. But the thing is, like when these shows are filmed and edited and produced, like you can tell they're produced to be binged or watched in a slow pace. You can't to me, it's very hard to do one that's both. And when you do have the drops, it's like 2 episodes at once when it's like a super episode, part 1 and part 2 kind of thing. Not like this. Like that's not what this was. I didn't feel like, oh, the first part's a movie and the rest is sequential episodes. I didn't feel like that. I felt like I feel like this was designed to be one at a time. And I feel like AJ went on a very similar rant. AJ went on a very similar rant. I feel like I remember, and now I get it a lot more.
He did.
That's.
I'm not giving you credit, AJ. I'm not giving you credit.
But no, like you gotta think about how people consume shows these days. And to me, at the pace we're going now, this isn't a week by week show, because thing is, and it's a trick that Netflix like does very well, but it's a carryover from like the weekly format of TV shows, where basically you have like 30-40 minutes of just like world building, but that last 15 minutes leaves you like, damn, I can't wait until the next episode.
See, Netflix like has like people have like people give Netflix flack, but one thing that Netflix really hooked people on when their original series was that cliffhanger. It's like, I'm just gonna watch one episode and then it's like 4 a.m. Hulu does not have that. You know, they just don't have that sauce. I'm so sorry.
Hulu has sports though.
Live sports.
And that's
live sports.
And like that's not even a thing, like a good thing anymore, because they're part of the Disney bundle where you get the ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
Live sports. But I'm with you. I think that is definitely what is missing. You know, that little juge, that's je ne sais quoi, those accoutrements. It's just like it ends like, okay, it ends mellow. Yeah. Every episode
this might be better as like 30 to 45 minute episodes too. I feel like maybe an hour, 50 minutes to an hour is a little too long.
Yeah, they end on a low note, but they should have you anticipating what's next. And this episode just like it literally ended with her standing in a room. Like that was it. Like they're packing, but
let me ask y'all this. There's I can't remember which podcast it was, but they used to ask a question at the end of each podcast. did they get it right by making it a movie, or would it be better as a TV show? So let me ask the same of this. Like, would this
Not a
be
movie.
a good movie?
No.
Okay. I think
I still
you could do limited series with this. I feel
I was about to say limited series. I think this would be, but the thing is, no one's gonna do a limited series because that's not the money. They don't care about the quality of the work; it's the money. So I feel like we would get a lot more quality out there if more people would be honest with themselves and just make limited series. Like I'm not mad about Lovecraft being one season, but I wish they'd put that energy into more stories that are, centered people of color and Black people. You can do that, and then maybe one that was actually written by Black people and not by a white man.
I think y'all are onto something, because the way that I am reading the graphic novel now, there are 10 volumes, and the way that the volumes are broken up make you want to go to the next one, and they could have done a volume in an episode. They're like 120 something pages, but it's a graphic novel, so it's like it's like three.
So like it's something like a 40. It'd be translate on the screen would be 30 to 45 minutes.
Or an hour, but I mean, it would be 10 almost complete stories, though. Like they could have made each episode based off a volume. They could have.
Because all right. So think of it this way. So in screenwriting, a page is a minute. Like each volume has roughly like between 120 and 150 pages. Trim the fat, you could get that down to 60 minutes. And
and two, you got to add running. Sometimes the page is 150 pages, but some of the pages are legit a picture. Like that is one page. It's just a picture that's setting up a scene. Or this page had 2 panels, and then the next page had 6 panels. So you could definitely break it up. And man, you should have talked to the people, right?
I tried to. They didn't let me in the building.
I'm telling you, when will they hire us? I'm just saying they should hire us.
They got to
hire
chromosome.
us one day. You were the one. You should have had me do it. I should have done it. My bad.
I mean, especially with the story about eating men. I wouldn't even let it get past the first ring of the phone. You're like, yeah, let's make a show where men are just gone. I'm like,
I'm in.
I'd be like, yes. Not even finish the sentence. Yes.
Would you have watched a 2-part movie?
No. I'm so tired of like long part movies where they don't need to be. They're never well done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, shout out to Dune dropping October 22nd. But yeah.
No, but I'm saying like not a 3-hour movie. I'm saying just like kind of like, the
all 3 hours part now 1 and part 2. Because
but I mean, would you have watched Why the Last Man Part 1 and Part 2?
I mean, look what happened to the Divergent novels when they got turned into movies. They didn't even make it to theaters the last 2 movies.
But that's because they were being greedy. They made too many of them. I'm saying 2
exactly. They would probably. Story.
Would you have watched it?
I don't have that much hope in book to movies anymore, so no.
So you still what about you? You still like it better as limited series would have been ideal, right?
Like I said, I'm becoming more team show over movie.
Yeah,
I just don't like
for things that are novels. To me, the only one that it really works is Lord of the Rings, and but the thing is, you have to have already been a fan that's willing to sit through the director's cut, and then your whole weekend is gone because it's over 10 to 15 hours of movies.
Because you a lame, D. That's why.
Yeah, I almost said your mom was a lame, but I know your mom was.
It is art. We don't talk down about the Lord of the Rings movies. We do not.
You better be glad I know your mom ain't lame, because it almost came out. I know better.
I wasn't allowed to watch
Mama
Harry Potter. It's all I had.
Mm-hmm. You a lame.
I will bring your mom up here right now. I will bring your mom. I'll have to just go downstairs.
You might have to.
Tell her to come up here and tell him his face is lame. She'll do it.
Oh wow.
She probably will.
Yeah, on my side, she'll do it. Sorry, y'all. We got off. We're back. But okay, so long story short, y'all would rather it had been a 10-episode limited series.
Yeah. At this point. Well, no, I'm still gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Oh, I'm not giving up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I like I said, men are gone. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Let me live in that fantasy.
But I will
All
say
right.
I'm kind of understanding why the original showrunner stepped away for creative differences because maybe they had a different vision about like the format of the show. So maybe that's it. But
I would take
you know,
even like a 2 6 or 7 episode seasons, but no one ever stops at 2 seasons. You know what I mean? Like no one ever stops at 2 seasons.
It's very confusing though. Like that's why I really that's honestly why I'm telling you not to read it, Courtney, because it's really like
and they're making
where
it
are these
hard to
people?
care about they're making it very hard to care about the characters. They're making it so hard to care. And that's one thing I think that's where they're messing up. Like it's such an interesting concept and they've actually got some good storytelling going. But they're doing what a lot of people in movies do wrong, which is making it really hard to care about the characters. I really don't care about these characters. I don't care what happens to them, which is
but
hard.
let me be fair too. So I
355.
feel like this episode is closer
I like
to
355, yeah.
the Yorick I recognize. So this episode did get closer to the because he's actually like very funny in this episode and not like in an annoying way. Like he was because when she was like, put your charm on it, he was like, I have a charm. But yeah, he was actually pretty funny in this episode. So when they do
that was a
that
good moment.
and not make him annoying, then yeah, like
He took his shirt off again too.
The thing is, like when you have a character that's intentionally annoying,
half
like
of
it's
it.
a very fine line to walk. I don't know what like the golden standard is for annoying but like character you care about, but it's like if you go too far, you get Jar Jar Binks.
exactly.
But what's a good example of that? Like done well.
You got me.
Yeah,
I'm sure one exists.
Just let him be the jester.
We just have more Jar Jar Binks than we do something done well.
Yeah. All right, so I have one question for y'all before D. I'm assuming you have your question prep. So I have one question for y'all before we go to the final question. So, what did you think about 355's decision to, I guess, go rogue and say, "Hey, we're going to San Francisco"?
She didn't annoy me this week, but she didn't really give me warm fuzzies either because I feel like she's suffering from probably exhaustion and she's just not thinking straight. Plus she's probably sad, you know what I mean? Like because nobody's had time to mourn, really. She hasn't, and I don't know if she knows that she needs to, but she should. So even that like small part of the episode where she was not hallucinating, but she was daydreaming about dancing and all that stuff. So she's something other than just this. So whatever it is that she had or was, or even the fact that she was 355 for the Corporal Ring, she hasn't had time to mourn that at all. She just this thing happened to all of them. Like, yes, the men died, right? Or the Y chromosome died, but this happened to everybody. And they haven't had a chance to properly like even figure out what it is because they're already trying to fix it. I don't even know what they're trying to fix though.
Yep.
So anyway,
I want more backstory
answer,
from her.
The her lying to Yorick, I didn't really like that. Because I've watched too many TV shows where people lie to each other when they can just tell the truth. And it would just make everything easier if you just tell them the truth. But I mean, I'm not really mad at her for not telling Yorick everything because it's Yorick.
He's an idiot. That's the thing is like he's so stupid telling them that the truth could compromise whatever she's got planned. So
that's facts.
I trust her judgment in lying to him. I really do because you kind of have to treat him like a toddler because that's his mental capacity.
What you think?
Huh?
What do you think?
All right, so this we're I feel like we're getting on track with like the source material a bit.
The
so
romance.
Like, okay.
There's gonna be a romance. I knew. I'm like, oh yeah, if she's. I'm just saying I'm gonna end up calling most of this without having to read the whole thing. Like I'm at this point where I'm not even reading it just to see how right I'm gonna be.
Keep
mean, you are on point so far. So
keep that. Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna just say like, well, that's what they should have done. It's gonna be my plan B.
Yeah, if you're wrong, just deny it. And
My
just
way
be
was
like,
better.
I'm just gonna pull the
my way was
arrogant the arrogant route. I want to hear
Okay.
this question.
So D, what's the question for this week?
My why question of the week is, keep in mind
Why?
now that just take this for what it is. You are safe reasonably. So the way you are now with the world as it is, just keep in mind that that's how it is in this situation. You're not in any extra danger because the Y chromosome has died off, except for you, Ronnie. Okay. With that being said, if you had a choice in the matter, you have a choice. Nobody's going to force you to do either. Do you repopulate the earth, or do you just let this generation be the last one?
All right, so
Who am I repopulating with?
Well, in this world, Ronnie.
see,
This is it.
let's
It's
see.
right.
But let me say this. So I am
It's
shout
us and
out
Ronnie,
to
Courtney.
I was gonna say shout out to
Ronnie's
Russ Cole.
like
I am a bit of a pessimist anyway, so we all dead. We just dead.
Ronnie,
You ain't gonna make us apple
you're not
teenies?
gonna try to death by snoo snoo? Not even
Okay,
we-
but this is in the real, like in our like post scenario. Keep that in mind. So, Ronnie, you're the last man in your scenario. Courtney, for ours, it's somebody you love and it's somebody I love, but
No,
not your child. So, would
my
you
answer's still the same.
try to repopulate the earth?
it's still cheating if he's repopulating the earth, so no, he's not.
Yeah. So y'all would just
Sorry, guys.
y'all would take this as a sign that the world is ending and just let it be.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, as would I. I would too.
Listen, I love my partner, but do I want to repopulate like with a really potential? I don't know if I want to do that.
I mean, it wouldn't have to be you in particular. I'm just saying, would
No, I
you
meant
take
like
the step? Would you guys take any steps to help repopulate the earth? Even if it meant like, the sperm banks or whatever. Let's say they survived. Would y'all want to repopulate the earth?
Like,
or would you just
considering
rather
that our event is COVID-19, nah.
Yeah, I think, like I said, like if you listen to epidemiologists, like we got like one of the easier, like easy mode, viruses, and we failed miserably. Like it's like imagine like failing the tutorial to the gameplay. Like you failed the tutorial.
So yeah,
that's how bad we are.
The buck stops with me. No,
the buck stops here. I agree. And that's either way, whether it was all women or all men. If I had a choice, I'd
if it's all men, I already would have jumped off a roof somewhere. Like again, like we made this point last week. I'm not making it that far because like that is self-care.
It is, but I'm with you guys. I wouldn't repopulate either. I'd just be like, this is clearly.
No, I would like try to do some research to bring the giraffes back. Like the giraffes did nothing wrong.
I wouldn't do anything. I just let us run out of whatever, and I'm like, we're the last ones. Live it up.
I don't think the other animals deserve that, but
live it up. Find all the drugs and have the time of your life.
Because you probably wouldn't make it past you.
I want to see a show where the last two men on Earth are Lil Boosie and Lil Nas X. Like that would be an amazing show.
Okay, money.
Just them two, nobody else.
Nobody else.
Just the two of them.
What did Lil Nas X do to deserve that?
He would enjoy it. He would.
That's right. He would like the trolling he would do. Mm-hmm.
He'd never wear clothes. He'd just run around all day. It would be amazing. Now that you mention it, Ronnie, I also would like to see. I too.
Yes.
Would like to see.
Actually, like if like somehow that was a scenario and like I had to stay alive as the only woman, just like witness that, I would stay alive a little bit longer, just to get the satisfaction.
Yeah, I like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but y'all stick with the show. Y'all sound so pessimistic.
No.
Oh no, I'm sticking with it. Like I said, the premise is enough for me.
Okay.
I'm just like there's parts where I'm not gonna lie. There's parts where I'm bored.
Yeah.
So
Don't worry.
the premise has me hook, line, and sinkered because love that. Some days I
All I'm
need to
saying
remember that
is,
premise.
all I'm saying is we're on episode 6, and now y'all gotta tighten up. Like give us just a little bit more.
Maybe the last 5 will be like worth it.
I hope
Like you
they go
say,
that
maybe it'll wake.
storyline
Maybe
route
it'll
with
wake
the.
the. Maybe the juice will be worth the squeeze.
I hope they go dark with that fetus storyline. I just give me the. I need a little bit of like absolute. You think you're gonna have something hopeful, and so we're just gonna crush it in front of your face like Game of Thrones did. I need a little bit of that in
You
my
are
life.
going Anakin Skywalker.
I was
You
gonna
are
say,
just
that's why you
saying
want
Fuck
that
them
dark
kids.
the kids gotta die. Like you are going there. But no, that would be interesting. That would be
Fetus,
interesting.
deletus. That's it.
Yes, that would
Oh
be.
my gosh! Thanks for joining us
Thanks for
for
joining us
another
this week.
episode of our Why the Last Man recap. Please visit thekidswearcrowns.com. Listen to all of our other recaps and podcasts and politics as usual, which is not about politics, believe it or not. Or is
So
it?
it's a Jay-Z
Or
song,
is it?
or is it? Or is it?
Or is it?
It's brunch. It's brunch with Jay-Z.
Come
You
get this
should
knowledge.
take the 500K every time. And but I was about to say this. I would drop my Matrix video if people could give me feedback on it. I didn't posted it in the group, and people have been like, "I know you forgot. I'm just gonna drop it."
No, how long is it?
5 minutes.
I'm gonna watch it right
not
now.
all of us have that. Not all of us are working on that house husband life, and we have to work to support our household.
I mean, because I have a job now. Thank you.
Oh, get the
I'm gonna watch it right now. So
She's
thanks
like,
for
I
watching,
am a
y'all.
job.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.